Right, hello, welcome to Cracking the Cryptic. Tyson Price, it's your turn today. Now, Tyson is the most prolific constructor that you probably haven't heard of. And Tyson sends us puzzles, I think, more than weekly. And you're wondering why don't they appear? Well, Tyson tends to put in, I'm going to say it, far too many clues, so that most of the puzzles are just write-ins. And that's why they can't really feature on the channel. I think we did write to him to explain this, but he's carried on. He's always got a very long message of Christian support for us as well, which is fascinating. Thank you, Tyson. But do feel free to get your puzzles tested by a regular solver. Now, what's happened here is, this is Tyson's debut, sort of, because one of our testers has removed one of Tyson's constraints in this puzzle and says it's really interesting as a solve and that we should give it a go. This is great. I'm very happy to, and very happy to reward Tyson. We saw him on a stream recently, watching us on that, and we love Tyson's attitude. So this is 4 irregular sandwiches. Tyson originally had it called 4 irregular sandwiches killing or something, and one of the Sudoku instructions was make yourself a sandwich, eat or kill a sandwich with any type of peanut butter or salsa you want. We're not going to eat or kill any sandwiches. We've taken out the killer cages. What we have is an irregular sandwich Dutch whisper Sudoku, which is not something I think we've featured on the channel before, but I'm looking forward to giving it a go. And there is a link under the puzzle for you to, under the video, for you to play this yourself, along with the links to all of our apps, which are fabulous and include Line Sudoku and Sandwich Sudoku. Nice to get a chance to advertise Sandwich Sudoku, our first ever app and still one of our most popular. Do give that a try if you like this. And of course to our Patreon, don't forget Lord of the Rings by Blobs. What a hunt, amazing stuff. And there's also links to our merch and Sven SUDOKU PAD. But the first link is to what's now 4 irregular sandwiches by Tyson Price. And I'm going to go through the rules. We have to, it's not quite normal Sudoku rules. We have to place 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every marked region. And the regions are not, in fact, only one of them is a 3x3 box in this puzzle. So this region will contain all the digits 1 to 9. Now, on an orange line, neighbouring digits must have a difference of 4 or more. That's the rule we call Dutch whispers sometimes. A clue outside the grid, like this 27, gives the sum of the digits sandwiched between the 1 and the 9 in that row or column. So imagine the 1 was there and the 9 was there. These digits would add up to 27. So give it a try on the link under the video. Tell us what you think of it, honestly, because we're interested. And thanks again to Tyson. God bless you, Tyson. Right, now let's restart the clock and say, let's get cracking. Okay, so Dutch whisper lines are not quite as constraining as German whisper lines, but they will still alternate between high digits, higher than 5, and low digits, lower than 5, except where a 5 appears on the line. A 5 can appear on an orange line in between a 1 and a 9, or at the end of a line neighbouring a 1 or a 9. And then it changes the alternating polarity of the line. Those are interesting reflections. Oh, and I'm only noticing now that all the rows in this grid have clues of 5 or 30. I think the sandwich is the place to start in this puzzle. As soon as I say that, I start looking for law of leftovers situations. I'm not doing any of that. The sandwich, yes. A 30 sandwich, right. Now, we sometimes tell you a secret about Sudoku, which is that every row, column and box adds, our row, column and region today adds up to 45. And that is true. However, 45 is not the most important number in a sandwich Sudoku. That number is 35. Because that's the total of a row, not including the crust digits of 1 and 9. And the row here has got a total of 30 between the 1 and the 9. Okay, how can you make up 30 using different digits that can't be higher than 8? 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 is 26. Plus 4 is 30. So we've got at least 5 cells in the sandwich. The sandwich in this row obviously can't start here because it wouldn't be sandwiched, or here. So the 5 cells that are in the sandwich are confined to these 7, and they must include these 3. The same will be true in this row that's 30, and interestingly the same will be true in this column of 27, because the way to look at it this time is that the digits not in the sandwich or the crust we call the outies. They're outside the sandwich and the crust. The sandwich in this column adds up to 27, and the crust digits add up to 10, the 1 and the 9. So that's a total of 37. The outies add up to 8, but they don't include the number 1, because that's a crust. They can include 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or indeed the number 8. And that means they're either 1 or 2 outies. There aren't 3. And if there aren't 3 outies, the sandwich crusts can't be any closer to the middle than these cells, and these must be in the sandwich. Now, I'm beginning to assume there may even be some extraordinarily strict rotation of all the numbers in these rows. But there's either going to be a 1, 5... Okay, there are 2 ways of making up 5 as a sandwich, or indeed as the outies in a 30 row. That is either a single 5 or a 2 and a 3. This row I'm in is a very good place to start thinking about that. What I was going to say is I can envisage that this puzzle has 1, 5, 9 in some order in every row, or 1, 2, 3, 9 in some order in every row. And I imagine that it'll be consistency, because I think it would be very hard to put together if it didn't, but I might be wrong about that, and it's not going to lead to a solve. However, this row is, because I just said that the outies in this row are either a single 5 or a pair that is 2 and 3. However, a pair of 2, 3 can never be joined on an orange line because their difference is only 1, and the digits together on an orange line have to have a difference of 4. So that can't be a 2, 3 pair. I mean, that couldn't be the outies anyway, could it? Oh, because of this. This is not in the sandwich. Oh, that's huge. Sorry, I hadn't even noticed this. This is not in the sandwich. So the sandwich begins here. We have to have 5 digits in the sandwich, so that's in. Anyway, what I'm now going to tell you is that this row is excellent because the outies cannot be a 2, 3 pair. Because, I'm wrong actually, they could be there and there with 1 and 9 inside them. Okay, here's why they couldn't. I hadn't thought about this when I was talking, but I have now. One of those 2 or 3 would be next to 9 on an orange line, and that would be fine. But the other one would have to be next to 1, and that is not fine. That difference is not enough. So again, I restate, and I think I'm correct in stating this time, it's for the right reasons, that 5 is the outie, and it's going to have to be there, because that is not the 5. Hang on, maybe that is the 5. Okay, I'm talking through my hat again. The outie is either there or there. Oh, I still don't know where the 1 and 9 go. So I've totally botched that explanation and that deduction. Oh, watch me carry on being a nonsense man. Right, those can't be the outies, because that would be 2 and 3 if they were both outies. So this can't be a crust. If this was a crust, those would be outies and joined together. So that's not a crust. Now we have 5 cells highlighted, but we might have 6. Either that's a 2 and a 3 there, or No, that can't be right because these are joined on the, one of them would be joined to a 1. So again, just as in row 6, there is only one crust, one outie here, and it's a 5 in one of those cells. There's only one outie here, and it's a 5 in one of those cells. And that's a sort of X-wing on 5s. And a very weird one to boot. I'm not really understanding how the puzzle works yet, but I think I'm getting there gradually. Now, the crusts are... If that was a 5, this would be 1 or 9, and that would be 1 or 9. I'm trying to think about the Dutch Whisper. I'm not really getting it, actually. Ah. Do I need to think about the regions and how many crusts are in each region? I might do. Oh no, I'll tell you what I'm going to think about next, actually. One of these is a crust, is a 1 or a 9, and both of these columns have a 2 sandwich. That 2 is either north or south of this crust, and there's another crust in one of those positions. I don't know what to do with that. Right, I've just remembered that a 24 column and a 25 column have at least a 4-cell sandwich, because 876 isn't enough, and therefore the sandwich must go into the central cell of the column, whether it's 4 from the top or 4 from the bottom or more, it must do that. So one of these is a sandwich. Crust is what I mean. 24. Okay, I'm not quite, I feel like I'm missing something very clear. If that was a 5, it would be an outie in the column as well and would need another 3 outie in the column. I don't know. I don't know what's going on quite yet. I still need to figure this out. Oh, law of leftovers? Those 3 digits. Yeah, that's really interesting. Right. This is, law of leftovers is basic set theory. So first of all, consider those 3 regions. They contain 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Now they are very similar to the 3 rows at the bottom of the grid, which also contain a set of the different digits from 1 to 9. If you eliminate all of these digits from both sets, and they must be exactly the same, you're left with the same 3 digits in those cells as in those cells. And these are all being marked green. They're not crusts. This is huge. Those are all green. Now they could be a 5, that's fine, but this one is not a crust. So this is where the crust is, in the bottom row. And that crust, we have a 5 outie, we now know it's there. That is now the crust the other side. That's green. Now we've got a 27 clue up here. So the crust is in one of those cells, and that's an outie. It might be one of 2 outies, or it might be an 8 on its own. This is not a 5. We've got, these are all green. We've got 19 to fit in, and that is at least 3 cells. So it's got to include those 2. And then one of, yeah, also we've got 19 here, and we've got one of the crusts. So that's those 3. Now we know that there's a crust here in row 6, and a crust here with a 5 outie. And that's green. And we've got a 2 outie, a 2 sandwich in column what's it. So those all go green. One of those is a crust for the column. And in the row, these all these rows have 5 as the sandwich. because we've worked out they can't have a 2-3 sandwich. Either the 2-3 would be next to each other, or one of the 2 or 3 would be next to 1 or 9. It would be next to 1. That's not possible. So, this is also green. Now we've got this crust. Now, 19 could be 3 or 4 cells, so I can't fill in the crust up there. 19 here, what's the max it can be? It's 4 cells, actually. Because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would add up to 20. So this is the highest the crust can go, and they're all green. Yeah, let's do it this way. The crust in this, the sandwich in this column has to be at least 3 cells. And they're in it. What's the most it could be? The most it could be is 5 cells this time. So I'm not going to risk anything else. Okay, I was thinking about one of these is red, and its partner is in one of those cells. Right, that is not red. Oh no, hang on. I was going to say those would both be 2s, but I'm getting mixed up between the clues. Don't want to do that either. Every 5 that we're going to place in the grid now is going to be a sandwich in a row. That's really interesting. Okay, so let's think about, yeah, where's, oh no, but it can be in the cells we've already marked green. Oh, bother. Okay, don't worry about that thought. Now, must be something else we can do. I'm going to think about these red possibilities again, which make one of these red. Now, can that be red? No, because the sandwich in this column is at least 4 cells. So in fact, it must include, these are in the sandwich, and it needs another cell there. So that is not red. So that now can't be red in this row. So that's red in the column, and that's a 2. And here we go. Now we're underway a bit. That's a 5, and that's red. And everything in the row is green, including the 5. This is green, and those are at least 4 in the sandwich of the 25 column. Now this has to be red in this column, because you can't fit the 2 reds up there and get a 24. So that's red, that's green, that's red, that's green. This is a 5. I wonder how we're going to sort out the 1s and 9s. Those are both green to make the 24 at least. Now, either we've got a 5 there or a 5 there with a red surrounding pair. I can't tell which. Same is true up here, actually. That's a bit strange. Right. I'm sure this is more clear than I'm understanding. Oh, the 5 in this column has to be in a cross sandwich, so it's in one of those 2 cells. And the 5 in this column has to be in a cross sandwich. It's not there, because those aren't red. So it's in one of those 2 cells, flanked by a pair of reds. I'm sure I'm not using the Dutch whispers enough, because I'm not really thinking about it at all at the moment, but there's only so much capacity in my brain for this. Right, there are at least 2 outies in this column, because the outies add up to 10, so that's green. Now, oh, let's use the shapes. We've got 5s in all the bottom shapes. The 5 in this shape is in one of these 3 cells. It can't be there or there. It can't be in red, and it's not there. Yes, it's in one of these 3 cells, but it does form a sandwich in the row, so it's got to be there after all. So I was thinking about the column when I marked those 2. I should have thought about this shape. And now they're red surrounding that 5. That's green. These 2 add up to 8, and they don't use a 5, so that's a 2-6 pair. That is red, so both of those are green. I don't know whether the 2 is above or below. I almost do, because 2 in this box, yes, I do. 2 in this region has to be in one of those 2 cells because of that 2-6 marking we just did. Now it can't be here because 2 in this column is the sandwich and it's touching that cell. And in fact, that can't be a 2 because of the 2, 6. So we get a 2 here. That's red next to 5 and next to red again. And these are green and trees are green. No, that is green. These are the reds in row 4 surrounding a 5. We've got an 8 sum, could be 1 cell, I don't know. Now that's red, it's the last one in its column. That's green. That is red. So this is the green 5 next to it. That's red. Now we must be able to fill in the last 2 reds. I think they're there and there. And everything else in the puzzle is green. Okay, so all the reds can have a 1-9 pair in. I'm not sure that the orange lines enable me to disambiguate those at all. I'm not even sure. I suppose the rest of the orange lines will enable me. Okay. Now, we'll go back to what I said earlier in the puzzle, which is that along orange lines, we alternate. If we're not having 5, 1 and 9 messing things up in terms of alternation, then we do alternate between high and low. And we've got a couple of 2s in the grid. So the alternating digits are from 3 and 4. In fact, that is the 3-4 pair. These others in the row are 6, 7 and 8. That is 3 or 4. These are from 6, 7, 8. This is high because it's next to 3 or 4. That might disambiguate all the red cells for me. Let's see. I think it will, actually. That's so fun, actually. It's really interesting. Sorry I said actually too many times there. It's an occasional affliction. In fact, 1, 9. Look at that. All the 1s and 9s are done. Now. These outies add up to 11, which is 35 minus 24. They're not 9, 2 or 5, 6. They're 4, 7 or 3, 8. Oh, that is an 8. Then that's the sandwich. That is an 8. That takes 8 out of that cell by being in the same region as that. And now these 2 are on the whisper together. I think they have to be 3 and 7 to keep the 4 distance. And that's huge. 4 there, then 8. And that's a 6. Down here, 2, 6, 9, 4, 5. That can't be 6. This has to be high. And it can't be 6, 8 or 9. It's high because of alternation along this line, and it's 7, and that's 8. And this isn't. There's another 3, 7 created. This is 6, so it doesn't have to be 4. In this region, we've got 4, 3 and 6 to place. That has to be 6 next to the 1. That's a 3 by Sudoku, and that's a 4. That's not 4, that's not 3. This is now not 7 because these 2 add up to 11, don't they? And this isn't 8. Alternation will do it along here. We need 8, in fact, there. 7 must be there. That's a 3. This is a 2. In this region, we need a 4 and a 6. It has to be 6 next to the 1. 2 and 7 by alternation of high and low again. Right, I'm going to have a look at this region. 5, 9, 1, 2, 6. That's a 7, 4 pair. This is a 3, 8 pair. Alternation from the 9 fixes that all. Yeah. And then 2, 3, 7 here. The 7's in the middle for the alternation. 2 and 3 by Sudoku. I think we're going to get to finish off now. And this has been an interesting puzzle. No doubt about it at all. I've learned things about the mixing, especially of Dutch whispers and sandwiches, which I didn't know before, which is quite interesting. And although clearly Tyson has been generous with the amount of Dutch whispering, it's made for a very interesting puzzle. Well done, Tyson. 3 there, 2 and 8, and that finishes it. That is the solution, which is really clever. That's a very interesting puzzle. And I enjoyed it quite a lot. So thanks to you for watching, as always, and to all the constructors who send us puzzles, and indeed a little shout out to our testers as well, who sometimes do wonderful things. Thank you for watching. We will be back with you again soon, i.e. tomorrow. Bye for now.